What if natural law theory were true? Would that mean it is wrong to perform physician-assisted suicide?
The following video deals with mature subject matter and depicts the decapitation of a chicken.
Okay, I'm ready. Just, Kenny, cue up the Sheryl Crow music. Be ready to punch that right in when I hit that point. Okay. Hi, I'm Chris McCord, professor of philosophy at Kirkwood Community College. Suppose I ask you to kill a chicken using one of the most humane methods that farmers actually use, the killing cone method.
I still want you by my side, but instead of feathers, I want you fried. Do you wanna try to cluck again? First you get some tree loppers that are strong, and you push the chicken head first into an orange traffic cone. And when the head pops out the other end, you cut it off.
Yeah, I forgot to mention this is directed by Rob Zombie. Get it? Because gruesome scenes with popular music overlaying it or whatever. Well, anyway, let's consider natural law theory.
Natural law theory says what is right is what is natural, reasonable, and in accordance with God's plan.
It is natural and therefore wrong to take this chicken's life. Abruptly ending a life by killing isn't natural.
Killing a chicken is unnatural. Letting a chicken die of natural causes is natural.
Death by natural causes, we say, happens naturally, not with human interference. So it seems this killing is unnatural. However, you might think there is a bigger context such that killing animals for food, at least, is natural and reasonable and in accordance with the will of God. God gave chickens to humans to eat, you might suppose. But we can't eat them unless we kill them. Therefore, God wants us to kill chickens to eat.
Which is natural? Letting chickens die of old age, killing chickens and using them as a food source. Notice these are mutually exclusive options. You cannot choose both.
Many religious people feel this way. I know because I ate fried chicken with them after church. Another observation. Remember also that natural law theory has a problem. How do we know what is natural, reasonable, and in accordance with God's will? Different religious people may have different ideas about what counts as natural. This case is no exception. To city slickers who eat but don't kill chickens, this act of subjecting the chicken to the death cone viscerally seems downright unnatural and morally wrong. I myself would cringe, being from the city, if I had to watch this being done, and it would feel wrong to me. Many morally sensitive children would react very negatively to seeing this done to a chicken, you might also consider. But to farmers who do it all the time, they do it all but they get used to it, so cone killing a chicken seems natural. After all, what could be more natural and reasonable than using a God-given food source in the only way it can be used to produce food? So what can we glean from all this about euthanasia? Number one, the fact that we have a negative visceral reaction to terminating a life does not in and of itself mean that termination of life is wrong. The negative reaction may track general moral truth, but not in all cases, because sometimes there's a bigger picture, a greater context.
You know, I would not want to be the doctor who helped Brittany Maynard take her own life, terminate her life. That would feel wrong to me viscerally. On the other hand, that act of ending her life is within a context. She's going to die anyway. If you don't end her life early, there's going to be great pain and suffering for her and also for her loved ones. So, could it be that what's natural is to end the life in that case rather than to preserve it? Utilitarian philosopher Jeremy Bentham said something like the following: if God is loving, he wants us to do everything we can to eliminate human suffering.
More examples from Jesus of a greater context. You aren't supposed to work on the Sabbath, Jesus says, but it's actually okay to break that rule if you're doing good for others. You're supposed to punish adultery by death, but Jesus thinks it's okay to break that rule in recognition that we all have sinned and in recognition of our common humanity. Secondly, sometimes even terminating a life can be natural, because doing so is part of a bigger picture that is natural, reasonable, and in accordance with God's will. We see this in the example of the chicken, for those who believe it's okay to eat chickens, that God intended us to eat chickens. But what about the example of human beings? Well, in the Old Testament, God himself was willing to terminate the lives of babies. By babies, I mean babies, already born babies. We would all agree they're babies. For he was willing to terminate the lives of babies for some greater good that was presumably truly natural and reasonable state of affairs, namely punishing the wicked. God seemed to believe that his justice trumped the baby's right to life. Here's an example from 1 Samuel.
And utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling.
Moreover, the religion of Christianity is founded upon the idea that sacrificing the life of an innocent can be justified for a greater good. It was good that Jesus, the innocent, gets sacrificed to save all of humanity from hell. In other words, it seems like even natural law theory allows for distinctively utilitarian justifications of the taking of a life in some cases. In the case of euthanasia, most religious people who subscribe to natural law think that what is called passive euthanasia is justified, that it is not required, that one is not required to use all means necessary medically to stay alive. The will of God does not mean it is wrong to take a do not resuscitate position if you are dying, and you do not have to pull out the latest machine to keep you living. Your body, let's say, is naturally shutting down. So you are not required by God to use artificial means to keep on living. Now, James Rachel's claim, as we've seen, is that there's no difference between active and passive euthanasia morally. Therefore, pulling the plug equals letting die. Now, the religious person might point out that there is a naturalness about letting someone naturally die without resuscitating them that is different from pulling the plug, taking a life, active euthanasia, interfering to produce the dying patient's death earlier than otherwise. On the other hand, could physician-assisted suicide be an instance in which some greater natural good trumps the immediate unnaturalness? Could the utilitarian good of reducing suffering, as Bentham says about God, be sufficient reason for endorsing mercy killing, even for religious people? I'm Chris McCord, and this has been a special report on euthanasia.